Peace, family. This is Jabari Osaze here. Some of you have actually heard about my challenge with coronavirus. I actually became very sick in the beginning, well, it was kind of the middle of March. I really struggled for 3 weeks. And during that time, I tried to get tested. Unfortunately, at the time that I was actually sick, it was very difficult to get tested. So now that I've recovered, I'm actually pleased that I'm headed over to CityMD to try to get an antibody test. So you'll follow me, hopefully, on my journey, attempting to get a COVID-19 antibody test. It's really windy out here today. Not looking forward to be out there, but I'm going. So please take this journey with me as I try to make sense of what happened to me during this really difficult period for our people. So many of us, so many of our elders have died. So many people have been ill. You know that it's affecting Black and brown people more than others. And so I am trying to just get clarity on my own small part of that, even though I'm so blessed that realistically my sickness was relatively mild compared to what happened to everyone else. So I'll see you at CityMD. So here I am at CityMD, hoping to get a test. There are very few people here. It's probably why I came in the afternoon. Let's hope it works. So the radiologist just took my vitals, my height, my weight, my blood pressure, and my temperature, and those all seem to be normal. I'll be waiting for a few moments for the doctor to come in, and hopefully they'll take the blood and everything will be moving smoothly. I hope so. We'll check back in a minute. So we're prepared to actually administer the test. You can see my stuff here. They'll be in a moment to actually take the blood, and hopefully that will mean that we'll get results in about 3 to 5 days. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Can I ask which test you're using too? Because I've heard so much about the different tests.
Yeah, this is the COVID antibody.
Right.
Antibody. So it's like testing if you had the coronavirus
Right.
in the past, or do you presently have it?
Right. I understand it's the antibody test. I'm wondering which company you're using.
Quest.
Oh, this is
Yes,
Quest.
This is Quest. Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be through Quest.
Okay.
That's
Thank
it.
you. So that was relatively painless. I've actually gotten my blood taken. They're going to do the serology test, and I should hear in about 3 to 5 days what the results are. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they are, and I'll let you follow along on that journey too, so that you're able to see the results, get a sense of what the test is, so we can really make sure that from beginning to end, our people are staying safe. Peace. Peace, family. It's Jabari Osaze back here with you on the morning of May 4th. I actually have just been alerted that the results of my COVID-19 antibody test are actually in. So I'm going to open it with you so you can get a chance to see exactly what the results are and get a better sense of what this journey has been like for me. Thinking about this, I almost felt that I should have been filming some of the difficulty I had when I was sick, just so people could take it seriously. That's the reason why I've had this conversation in public. When I first started having symptoms, I really stayed away from virtually everyone. And that wasn't just social distancing. It was because I wasn't sure what to say. I work with a number of people. I have lots of students. At the time that I actually contracted COVID-19, I believed that I may have had somewhere on the order of 200 students.
And so to some degree, I was also concerned. Had I put them in jeopardy? Did they put me in jeopardy? I was also one of those folks that was taking, the crowded New York City subway train. I remember getting on a 3 train from Harlem going downtown, and there clearly had to be on that car alone somewhere around 200 to 300 people. It was very crowded, and it was really, really hard to get to my training that day. And it was in the middle of when we had just heard that people in New York City were contracting COVID-19, the novel coronavirus. Everyone was scared, but everyone was not scared enough not to pack onto a crowded train to go to work. And so all of this, as I look back on it in hindsight, was just maddening. It was insanity. Now that we're social distancing and wearing masks, I think about what that ride on the subway was like, and not just that ride, but the subsequent rides I took over the course of several weeks were like. It was just insane. Clearly, many of those people on that car probably contracted COVID-19. And I know that when I go to the doctor and they ask me, did I have any contact with anyone that was positive? Sometimes I feel a little frustrated with my response, because as a New Yorker who rides public transportation, who lives in an environment, one of the busiest streets in New York City, I'd like to say, really, it was not possible for me to social distance without our city being shut down in some form or fashion. And so all of this has been challenging, has been scary, to be very honest. And in some ways, I've seen the ability for me to get an antibody test as perhaps part of the end of part of my personal story. So let's open the results, and you'll be able to see with me what they look like. So I'm on the CityMD website, and it actually says that the value is positive, that I do have the antibodies for COVID-19, which actually says that I was infected, that I did actually have COVID-19, the novel coronavirus. Now, I'll say to you honestly, the next thing that I am going to be thinking about on an individual basis is, do these antibodies give me any real level of protection now? In other pandemics and other challenges that humans have had with viruses, successfully actually healing from the virus usually means that you have some immunity. And most medical officials still believe that having the condition and coming through the condition successfully will probably mean that I will have some immunity. But there's so much that we don't know about this virus right now, since it's really only, as far as we know, a few months old. So that's the next thing. I'll be looking at all of the scientific studies, the peer-reviewed studies, to see whether this tells me anything else about what my life personally will look like going forward. I'll still be extremely cautious. I'll still wash my hands for 20 seconds so regularly. Right now, my hands are dry because I'm constantly washing them, even though I'm not outside of my house that much. I think I've become really concerned about hand washing because I was sick. I'll also be wearing a face mask. I have a bunch of face masks, because the other thing about face masks is I have a beard, as you can see, and it was really difficult to find a set of face masks that would actually fit my beard. And so I'll be using face masks whenever I'm outside the house. I probably still will not go outside very often. And that's kind of what our lives will be like for a little bit, until things improve or until there's a vaccine. Now, I know that so many of you have concerns about the vaccine, have concerns about whether it's possible, on one hand, to actually have an effective vaccine. And there are those of us in our community that have been so jaundiced by this system, by this entire structure that has been put together based on perhaps America's original DNA of white supremacy, that you don't trust whether a vaccine will be safe. You don't trust whether a safe vaccine will be administered to our people. And I get it. But I'm saying to you, as I listen to an ambulance go down the block, as I am saying to you that there has been such death in our community that we need to do our research. We need to try to understand the science behind it. I believe that we are going to be here in this difficult situation for at least a year, if not 18 months, from May. And so I'm pleading with you to take this seriously, to keep yourself and your families safe. I know that when I look outside my window, I literally on a daily basis see dozens of people without masks, without social distancing. In some instances, they're sharing things like drinks or even blunts, or I mean, this is a concern. I don't think enough of us are taking this seriously. That's the reason why I did this publicly. And I'm going to say to you that there are even those of you who attacked me, who have said that I lied about my condition. I'm going to try to believe that some of you did not understand how difficult it was to try to get tested at the height of the pandemic in New York City. I'm going to try to say that, even though I know that some of you did something that was really immoral. Your brother told you that he was really sick for 3 weeks, and you looked for an opportunity to attack him. Well, I wonder what you'll do now that my results are actually positive for COVID-19 antibodies. I'm going to continue to be public about this. I'm going to continue to try to dismiss some of the conspiracy theories out there that are baseless, that are occurring without science. And I really hope that you understand the only motivation I have for doing this is that I want to see fewer Black and brown people in body bags. I want to see our people stay safe and healthy. And that's really the only reason why I would do this in public with you. Thanks so much. I really hope that you are staying at home and social distancing and staying healthy. And I just have to say, may the ancestors and the Neteru get us through this extremely difficult challenge, just as they have all the others. Peace. Hetepu and Shemem Hetep. Go forth in peace.